You're listening
You're listening
to another episode
of the Fresh Takes
podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tank from the Fresh Takes podcast. And again, it's a Friday. So what does that exactly mean? Well, that means you're here to watch the mini series, the mini, whatever you want to call it, the mini podcast, the mini get to know what Tank's favorite top 50 sports logos. So last week we did 41 through 50. And if you did not catch that, you can go back to the YouTube page, catch that, or you can even possibly listen to us on Spotify podcast or the Apple podcast. But today is a new day, new week, and we're going to go through 31 through 40. That's right, 31 through 40. But again, we're going to work backwards, 40 through 31. It's okay. We will get through this. So, what do we have at number 40? Well, it's NFL. So let's get right into it. It is the 1953 Baltimore Colts. Not the Baltimore Ravens and not the Indianapolis Colts, but the Baltimore Colts. I like this logo. It was different. And as you can clearly see what the logo looks like. But it coming from that era, I guess, is definitely different. But I think it's kind of cool looking. And again, these are all my opinions. This isn't Tim's opinion. This isn't Pat's opinion. They have no clue. Well, they do somewhat have a clue what's going on because we always talk as a family, but they don't know where my list is. But let's get right into it. Number 39. We're going to go to the 2017 to present. That's correct. And then we're going to jump into the NHL. And this team, if I'm not mistaken, is in the Western Conference Finals. Actually, let me look that up. And then they are in the Western Conference Finals, and it is the Vegas Golden Knights. The reason I picked this is you have the shield, the face mask, the helmet. It has the V for Vegas cut out, but it's different. I don't know. To me, when you see this, you don't want to mess with them. You don't want to ever underestimate them either. I think that their logo is pretty badass. I mean, bad but I think it's awesome. We're going to get right into number 38. And it's none other than the 1976 to 2002. As you can clearly see, it's on the board. It is the Seattle Seahawks. This is retro. Takes me back to when I started really getting into NFL. This takes me back to the time where I was able to see the progressions of the eras that I grew up in. I mean, I was born in 1990, so I grew up in the 90s. And this just takes me back to memory lane of back in my day. But I love this logo. I think it's really cool looking. I'm not saying that their new logo isn't great, but I like this logo better. So that was at number 38. We'll get right into number 37. We're going to jump over here to the NBA. And this team was, how do I put it? I don't know. It's they're under a new name. I'll put it that way. But it is the Charlotte Bobcats. I don't know. I think the Charlotte Bobcats logo is you don't mess with it again. Another team with the logo. Yeah, it's kind of plain Jane a little bit, but at the same time, you don't mess with a Bobcat. So why mess with them? I think whoever created that logo honestly did a good job. We're going to get right into the 2002 or number 36. Excuse me, sorry, in the number 36 spot with the 2002 to 2017 San Antonio Spurs. We're going to stay in the NBA. I like the logo. I think it was in that time era, that time frame. Again, I mean, when you saw that logo, when you just saw the U shape of a spur, that the Cowboys wore and stuff like that, you knew exactly who the team was. You could name people off the team that had played for that team at that era, those dates, those years. So I don't know. I think San Antonio deserves to be on the list. We're going to go into the next position at 35, and that is the uh, current. Well, I don't want to say current. It's the two. They started off at 2000 to. Sorry if y'all saw my eyes. It's my cats. Um, 2000 to present. So that's why I said it's current because it is current. Um, but it's my favorite team or one of my favorite teams. And no, I'm not talking about the NFL team that I like, the Dallas Cowboys, but we're talking my favorite NBA team that is in the Eastern Conference Finals currently. Um, the Miami Heat. Man, that logo with fire coming off of the ball, going through the hoop. It's my team, and I don't know. I've always liked them. Since I was in high school, I started liking basketball, or not really. I just following it, um, and I became my team. So that was 35. Let's get right into number 34 spot position. Number 34 is the 1946 to 1973. As you can clearly see on the board, is the Chicago Bears. Would you want to mess with a team like that had a logo like this? I wouldn't. So you're probably like, well, you keep saying the same thing over and over. Yeah, I do because these logos are you want a logo to look fierce, to look bad to the bone. You want a logo to strike fear into your opponents somewhat. I'm not saying your players and your play of the game can't, but a logo should also help. And to have a bear crawling over, mauling over a football, I don't know. And I'm not a big fan of the Chicago Bears, but I will say their logo, I was a fan. All right. So that was 34. Let's get right into number 33. We have the 2010 to present, the Michigan State University Spark. It just, do I have to explain? It's an iconic logo. You see that logo and you immediately know who the team is. You're most likely going to know somebody off one of their teams that play either now in the majors or they play on their teams. And you're going to know that they have rivalries. So why not? With that green, I don't know. I dig it. Dig it. Let's get into number 32. It's a 1992 to 2004, is it? Yep, 1992 to 2004. It's an iconic. So if you watch any baseball, you're probably know exactly who I'm talking. But it's a team that it's an iconic logo that you should be able to pick up and recognize, and that's the Montreal Expos. And if I'm not mistaken, that they moved to they're now the Washington Nationals. It's a team I really don't follow, but the logo, like I said, I enjoyed the red, the blue. I can't even explain it because it looks like an E looks into an L to a B. I don't know but it's awesome looking. Something that's iconic, something that you will never not recognize. And so we're going to go finish up for this episode to number 31, and then goes to the 1980 to the 1996 Houston Oilers. It's an oil rig. It's a icon that back in the day, like I said, I grew up in the 90s. So as soon as you see these things, you know who they are. Um, they moved from Houston to Tennessee, so they're now called the Tennessee Titans. But when they wear their throwbacks, you'll see them in the NFL. But honestly, it's just that's my era, that's my generation that I grew up in, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. Hard hitting. Um, they didn't have 100. They didn't have all that great of a talent. They had some good talent, but they it was awesome watching them. So let's recap 31 through 40. You had number 40, you had the 1953 Baltimore Colts. You had at number 39, I'm not even going to say the years, I'm going to just tell you the teams. So let's back it up. 40, you had the Baltimore Colts. You had at number 39, you had the Vegas Golden Knights. At 38, you had the Seattle Seahawks. 37, you had the Charlotte Bobcats. At 36, you had the San Antonio Spurs. 35, you had it Miami Heat. 34, you had the Chicago Bears. Yeah. 34 was Chicago Bears. 33, you had the Michigan State University. Number 32, you had the Montreal Expos. 31, you had the Houston Oilers. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this is Tank from Fresh Takes Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. You can follow us along on Apple Podcasts, or you can follow us on Spotify. But you know what? Again, next week we're going to be doing 21 through 30. I hope y'all are enjoying this. I know it's only week 2 and episode 2, but we're not even halfway through yet. But you know what? Doesn't matter, because I hope I'm intriguing enough for you all to keep coming back and want to know who's the next team on his Tank's list. Again, I want you to all follow along. I want you all to write down your own ideas, because who knows? I might do other episodes of different avenues, different things. You never know. I might even ask you all if y'all want to hop on and help me out. But again, this is Tank signing off from the Fresh Takes Podcast. And this is Tank's thoughts of the top 50 sports logos.